Explore anxiety, imposter syndrome, and the power of community therapy for marginalized folks.
When we're done, when you go out to the world, you're able to respond differently, right? Like, even though you might be anxious about something, you can still be able to self-soothe and still be able to move forward, right? Anxiety is just your mind maybe trying to make you aware of something, trying to protect you from something, right? But you can say, okay, thank you for the message, right? But I'm okay. I'm gonna keep on going, right? And more you do that, as you are able to move forward, the anxiety alarm kind of goes down because like it signals. Now I'm just speaking in very layman's terms, right? It's like signals to your subconscious, like, oh, okay, guys, like we're fine, we're not in danger, we're good, right? That's how we're supposed to move forward.
Is there goodness in people doing group therapy?
Yeah, yeah. Being in a group space definitely helps to validate your experience, right? So it doesn't feel like you're alone. Like, take for example, AA or AA meetings and what they're for and how they help folks. It helps folks to kind of recognize that this issue that they're having, that it's not just them, that it's not that they're not alone, that there are other people who have gone through something similar, right? And they can even also share what was helpful for them when they were in a similar situation that you might find yourself in right now. So, yes, group therapy is definitely helpful for this validation.
So some of the things you help people with is imposter syndrome for BIPAC professionals,
Mm-hmm.
the total racism, microaggressions,
Mm-hmm.
managing anxiety and stress, and managing burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Have you found there's this one like people like are really like struggling with as a whole? Like you're like if you could like if you had the money and resource to focus on this one item of those, you would like focus on one and make
Mm. Man, out of those
yeah.
that you just said, I think one that keeps coming up these days is the imposter syndrome. I think, and maybe there's just because of the clients that I do see, right? Folks who work in tech, whatnot. But oftentimes, because it's folks who come from a minority background, right? Folks of color and stuff. This this might be some for some of them. It's the first time where they're in a position where they're making like six figures, right? Um, they're in a team working for multi-billion-dollar companies and whatnot, right? And they're doing these projects and whatnot. But there's still that sense of uh, just doubt, self doubt, right? Because you've never seen this before, and it's like there's a creeping self doubt of, do I actually know what I'm doing? Do I actually belong here? Because one, I'm the first one in my family to do this, and I can't mess up, right? And what if I do mess up, right? Which never will be at all our jobs. We might make a mistake. Does this mean then, oh, does it validate the thought that I had that I don't know what I'm doing or I don't belong here? The imposter syndrome is one that I feel creeps up for a lot of folks, right? That questioning and self doubt of whether I belong in the position I'm in right now and if I know what I'm doing. And also, I don't want to be seen as a fraud or for people to kind of catch me being a fraud. So, how do I avoid being a fraud?
So how do you help people overcome that? Because like it's a real deal for a lot of people.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah,
I think one, kind of unpacking, understanding where the self doubt comes from, right? Oftentimes it comes from childhood. What was your experience when it came to, say, praise, right? Were you only praised when you did good things and when you did, like when you met a certain
yeah.
expectation, but then when you didn't, were you then like severely
I remember
criticized?
reading the stats about that where the kids got praised more often, went on like have higher house self esteem.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, "Hey, you piece of crap, what's wrong with you?" Then
Mm-hmm.
obviously they're like lower self esteem and self
Mm-hmm.
doubt. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. All of that, right? So it's like, what happens when you make a mistake, right? Are you able to say, oh, I made a mistake this time, but next time I'm gonna do it differently, right?
mm,
Or at least I know now what I need to improve myself on, right? What we call a growth mentality. Or when you made a mistake, was it seen as, well, here's another affirmation that I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm dumb, or I'm really, stupid, right? Again, that's where that low self-esteem comes from. That's the difference between someone who grows up with a high self-esteem, someone grows up with a low self-esteem, and how they interpret or make sense of a mistake.
so I think this is my best example, maybe worst example of like imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
Do you know who Suni Lee is, the Olympic gymnastic person?
No, no.
So everyone knows who Simone Biles is. Simone
Yeah.
Biles, the GOAT gymnastic, right?
Mhm.
Won everything 2016. 2020, she got the twisties, mental health issues, so she dropped out.
Mm.
Suni Lee was the person who won overall Olympic gold medal for the United States. I mean, for the Olympics, right?
Nice.
Well, she later laid it out that she didn't think she deserved it, right?
Mm.
Like, there's no way I should have won this. If Simon Biles would have been here, I should have won. But like, well, she wasn't there. You did win. You are the overall Olympic gold medalist. I'm thinking like, if she has it, like, what chance did anyone else, right? You know, she has
Right.
Olympic gold medal, the best that she does in the world,
Yo.
and she's still like, I don't deserve this.
Mm.
And
Mm.
like, damn. When I saw that story, that really hit it for me. Like, man, if she's struggling, like, man,
No, it's real. It's real, right? Because like is she comparing herself to Simone Biles, right? Does it feel like, excellence is only Simone Biles,
yeah, I feel like if she would have been there, I would have got silver and I even medal, right?
right?
But she wasn't there. You did win a gold medal. Like, you
Right.
did beat everyone else.
You did, and that's definitely worthy of recognition and praise for her, right? But she's having a hard time even internalizing praise.
Yeah.
For real.
That's crazy. So pre-talk, you're talking about you doing some kind of webinar or live event coming up.
Yeah, yeah. So I did it actually last month. So it's called the We Mind We Matter networking mixer. And what I do, and this is also one thing that was a bit of a call a passion project of mine, right? Is that one, shout out to mental health. It's blowing up now. It's definitely got a lot more recognition and everything. Um, but I think a lot of folks too, when they are looking and ready for, a therapist, have a hard time even like knowing where they can find a therapist, specifically a therapist of color. And what We Mind We Matter is about is trying to connect folks in the community who are looking for therapists of color, right? And that's definitely one of my passions, right? Especially being myself a black male therapist. I didn't realize this, but apparently I'm a unicorn. Like a black male therapist is something that's like almost like I have to look at the percentage, but even for overall when it comes to the therapy field, right? The percentage of black therapists is only 4%. And majority of that are black women. When it comes to black men, I think it's even I have to look at the stat, but I'm like percentage of a percentage, basically. And that was mind blowing to me because I thought, oh, there must be more of me, right? Like, even though I didn't see a lot of people in my cohort that looked like me, I mean, hey, there are black men out there. I'm sure if I'm thinking about therapy and psychology, there are also black men that also think about therapy and psychology. But no, there isn't. So one of my goals is to try to help folks who are seeking a therapist of color be able to actually find them. And we did the We Miami Man networking mixer last month over at the station coffee shop in Columbia City. And we had a panel discussion, one with a professor from UW about BIPOC mental health and some of the stigmas in there. But we also had therapists there, therapists of color, whom, if folks were looking for a therapist, they could connect and network and meet one. All right. So we have folks in the community come in, had the discussion, and then we had this networking where folks could meet other therapists of color. So that's something that uh, I've been doing for a bit. It started off with actually just connecting therapists first and foremost of color to like network within themselves, and then this last few events we opened it up to public to kind of come and actually meet some of these therapists. And the next time I think we will be doing that will probably be sometime in November. It's because we've got some other things. This time we want to try to organize it and make it even bigger, right? And have folks actually kind of come in and we'll have a longer time. So the big one again will be in November.
Are you gonna do the same location?
Uh, to be decided,
Okay.
possibly,
Okay.
possibly, but yeah, for now.
Yeah, I'm guessing it'd be unethical for you to like be or some bar drinking beer and tell someone in person. You have any psychological issues?
Right. I'm like, yeah,
Here's my business card.
I met my therapist when we were taking tequila shots. I don't know about Yeah, so yeah, probably be at a coffee shop. I mean, I think there'll be alcohol, but actually no, there might not.
Mhm.
But yeah, it'll be at a coffee
Is
shop.
there age that it's too young to get therapy?
Too young to get
Yep.
therapy?
Like, should someone 8 years old or 6 years old been going through therapy?
No, I mean there are like child therapists, right? And they're also prenatal therapists. Well, no, not prenatal. Folks who work with you know babies who are nonverbal and things like that. But oftentimes at that age, what these therapists typically do is that they actually work with the parents, right? Because again, a child is just, a human being that's just responding to their environment. And the biggest influencer in said environment is the parent. So how can you, as a therapist, I mean, as a parent, create a space where your child can feel safe, and feel as if you are there to be able to protect them? Because when children, specifically children of babies are very, very perceptive. They have a very strong sense of if they're safe or they're not safe. Right? And that's why they cry. They cry because they're like, I don't feel safe.